Gold Coast chairman Tony Cochrane was given statesman-like status last year when he helped broker the deal between the Queensland Government and the AFL for the 2020 Grand Final. Now, the good grace and sympathy he showed towards Victorians and the MCG appears to have deserted him, just as the Queensland Government appears to have deserted the AFL in recent weeks. Yes, Optus Stadium and 55,000 football fans did the Dreamtime game proud on Saturday night. But how insensitive can you be towards Melburnians enduring their second week of a winter lockdown than to suggest the MCG might not host the Grand Final and the Grand Final might be leaving Melbourne again when it's still when it's 4 months away? These sort of comments do not endear Cochrane nor his football club to the 17 other clubs who wonder at times what the Gold Coast is actually doing in this competition, what it contributes, what it's actually given to football and what in fact it has taken out of the game, all those wasted playing years. And wondering too whether they will ever crack the top 12 of the AFL ladder, let alone the top 8. And while I'm on it, Sam, the person who does deserve statesman-like status this week is Trevor Nisbet, the CEO of the West Coast Eagles and their board, who have agreed to bring forward that Richmond game, knowing that they're going to have a lot of players out, knowing that it's going to put them at a distinct disadvantage when Richmond would have been hugely disadvantaged to have to go back to Melbourne or spend another week in Sydney. And they're both on the same position on the ladder on the same amount of points. So he deserves a pat on the back, but not Tony Cochrane.
I did notice in that article from Daniel Cherney that Martin Pakula, our sports minister, was also quoted as saying that I'm not sure Tony will have to worry about grand finals given the way that the Gold Coast Suns are playing, which I thought was a little unfair.
So if Cochrane wasn't so, it didn't do it in a smart alecky type way, you'd agree though if we can't get full capacity or a goods capacity that we should move the grand final though, wouldn't you?
Look. He absolutely makes the right point about it. If the game has to be moved, it should be shared around, and West Australia would be a wonderful venue. The Adelaide Oval would be great, and obviously Optus Stadium would be great. But the way he said it, the mean-spirited way I mean, I don't care what you think about the Victorian government, but why would you put it in the minds of Melburnians at the moment? People in Melbourne and Victoria adore their footy.
I think it's already in our minds, to be honest, Cara, given that we're in the midst of a fourth lockdown.
No,
we can't be confident. We can't be confident, although the sports minister, Pakula, is confident of a grand final.
4 months away, and it was insensitive, and I didn't like it.
We'll try throw into that again. Minister Pakula.
I have absolute confidence that the grand final will be at the MCG. It's very easy to forget that it's only just over a month ago that we had almost 80,000 at the MCG for the Anzac Day clash.
I mean, I appreciate that the minister's confident and that, Caro, you think we can be confident. The facts are, though, as Martin Pakula just said, a month ago we had 80,000. A month later, we're not allowed to go outside. So
could you be confident in Perth, though, Scoop? Like, can you be confident anywhere? Like, I'm not confident in Mark McGowan. He could agree to host it and one case pops up and he'll shut the whole thing down and grand finals off.
So other states don't go into lockdowns as quickly as we do, though.
Let's have a listen to the CEO of Optus Stadium and what he had to say about the grand final.
To be honest, from a public health perspective, I certainly hope we don't have to do that. But if, for any reason, the AFL decide they can't hold the grand final here in Melbourne, this is the perfect place to hold it. We've demonstrated that. I think the AFL realised that last year, but had some other commitments they had to fulfil. But this stadium now has absolutely got to be front of the queue for any further AFL Grand Finals if they have to be moved from Melbourne.
And it should be pointed out that, the lowest moment really for Adam Goodes happened in West Australia. Well, they turned all that around, didn't they, Matthew? With what an unbelievable... Obviously, it was at a different ground where the stuff happened with Goodes back at Subiaco, but a wonderful ground, a wonderful night, a fabulous game. And you just realise what a genius Kevin Sheedy is to have, and the people who helped him along the way, like Simon Matthews, who's now at Richmond, to have got this concept. It's clearly a national concept now, isn't it?
It was amazing, Cara, and it's sort of been the highlight of the footy year so far. It was only 2 weeks ago I was at an empty Marvel watching Western Bulldogs in Melbourne, the top of the table clash with no atmosphere, and a young Essendon player said to me today it was for us like preparing for a final. That was the buzz around the Western Australia, the closest thing they've got to playing finals, because a lot of them haven't played there. But I asked the question, I'd be doing everything I could if I was the AFL to get to WA and South Australia. A lot of those Sydney games still, there's just not the appetite for it. They don't love AFL football like Western Australia
but there's
South
money
Australia
and development there, isn't there?
Yeah, but still, it's amazing what the roar of the crowd did for the passion for football on Saturday night.